Here's what I've learned. You cast vision for your mission, and if people don't sign up, you move on. You move on. There are people that are going to die in the wilderness, and there are people that are going to take the hill. That's just how it is. Too many guys waste too much time trying to move stiff-necked, stubborn, obstinate people. I am all about blessed subtraction. There is a pile of dead bodies behind the Mars Hill bus. And by God's grace, it'll be a mountain by the time we're done. You either get on the bus or you get run over by the bus. Those are the options. But the bus ain't going to stop. And I'm just a guy who is like, look, we love you, but this is what we're doing. There's a few kind of people. There's people who get in the way of the bus. They got to get run over. There are people who want to take turns driving the bus. They got to get thrown off because they want to go somewhere else. There are people who will be on the bus, leaders and helpers and servants. They're awesome. There's also just sometimes nice people who sit on the bus and shut up. They're not helping or hurting. Just let them ride along.
Perry Noble says, a leader should never allow doubters to dictate the direction of their ministry. When God speaks, our obsession must be complete obedience. Peter the Apostle says, the elders which are among you I exhort, who am also an elder, and a witness of the sufferings of Christ, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. Feed the flock of God which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind, neither as being lords over God's heritage, but being ensamples to the flock. Paul also said, not for that we have dominion over your faith, but are helpers of your joy, for by faith ye stand. The church growth model of leadership is unbiblical and worldly. Jesus himself said, you know that they which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and their great ones exercise authority upon them. But so shall it not be among you. But whosoever will be great among you shall be your minister, and whosoever of you will be the chiefest shall be servant of all. Church leaders are to take their cue from Jesus as a servant. Often, these megachurches have membership covenants with clauses that contractually obligate you to leave if you disagree. These membership covenants can also be used as legal documents to protect the pastor and leadership. For example, a confidentiality agreement must be signed by employees and anyone who wishes to quote-unquote volunteer at Stephen Furtick's Elevation Church in Charlotte, North Carolina. This document legally binds the volunteer to a non-disclosure agreement of confidential information, such as the church's research, technical data, and financial information. The volunteer acknowledges that any breach of the covenant on their part will entitle the church to pursue any and all legal remedies against them. In an article called One Way to Increase the Commitment Level of Your Members, Warren says, when your congregation adopts a membership covenant, at least you're choosing the kind of people that stay. Warren then provides Saddleback's membership covenant as an example. This idea of a church membership covenant goes against the teaching of Christ on forbidding oaths. The type of people that are not welcome in these churches are those who would challenge the leadership with the Word of God, or resist any kind of changes for church growth. Those who resist the changes necessary for monster growth must change or die. Rick Warren told pastors and church leaders, if your church has been plateaued for 6 months, it might take 6 months to get it going again. If it's been plateaued for a year, it might take a year. If it's been plateaued for 20 years, you've got to set in for the duration. I'm saying some people are going to have to die or leave. Moses had to wander around the desert for 40 years while God killed off 1 million people before he let them go into the promised land. That may be brutally blunt, But it's true. There may be people in your church who love God sincerely, but who will never, ever change. It is easy to see how these celebrity pastors have set up a system within the megachurch in which their vision cannot be challenged and they are unaccountable to the Word of God.
But elders that walk around with the capital A, heavy duty, I'm here to hold you accountable. I'm make you accountable, all right? That's a control move, all right? That's a control move, and it's rooted in pride, okay? And it's not the senior pastor's job. I'm sorry that you're not happy with your career. But it's not my job to make you feel significant by folding my full-time ministry under your 10-hour-a-week volunteer opportunity. Okay?